Hi, and welcome back here on the Senior Network. We're now joined by Jim Keith, Keith's Funeral Home, Hilton Head Island.
Hey,
good to see you, Jim.
Good to see you.
Purple.
I know, what's that
Springtime.
about? My mother's favorite, it was her favorite color. Whenever she died, we all wore purple.
Oh, well, you have something in your hand. I'm sure that means you want to talk about it.
Well, I brought this last time, and it's just a bereavement and pre-planning guide that we've had a lot of success with. It's got everything you need to know, basically, about funeral service without having to go to funeral school.
There you
go.
And
has some good partners, some referral partners that we've used, attorneys, real estate
that you
people
know and
that
trust,
have worked with us. Yeah, and that's really good because you get people come down and say, I don't know anybody, I'm from Ohio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, I was at a service that you had put together a couple months ago, and I was so impressed. Maybe the viewers don't understand how much goes into a funeral, how much surrounds that event. And you plan all that mostly, correct?
Yeah, we do. And one of the things that people will sometimes compare it to, and I don't think it's a fair comparison, is that when someone plans a wedding, they plan it a year in advance and they have so many people. Yeah. I put on a show.
Absolutely.
I put on a presentation in 3 or 4 days. And it's kind of fun, it's challenging.
Yeah. And so I'm assuming that, without naming names or anything, I know in this service that you had done your homework research, found out, some military things and stuff, and you kind of put together some things to surprise the family, and that stuff goes a long way.
It does go a long way. The best one I ever did, not the biggest or the most important, was for a guy named Alex Hawkins. He was a South Carolina kind of sporting legend and a CBS sports announcer.
Okay.
And we rented the chapel up on the Horseshoe at the University of South Carolina, where he was an alumni.
Right.
And we had a bunch of NFL players and celebrities, and celebrities in their own minds were there too. But I put together a video of his college and pro football efforts, and got it from the NFL films, and nobody knew. And it was 7.5 minutes. That's how we concluded.
Wow.
It was pretty nice. But that's fun to do that kind of stuff when you have that kind of leeway.
Well, and it brings up a great point. Everybody knows you in town now, and you have that concierge type service, and you're the owner, and you're very active as an owner. Compare that to maybe some of the big, large chains out there.
Well, there is no comparison, really.
Okay.
One of the things I do want to touch on, that's a good point, I'm glad you brought that up, was that we have a lot of people from Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Minnesota, Michigan, and they come down here and their final desires to go back home. Call the funeral home in your home state first. Even if you die across the street from Keith's Funeral Home, call the funeral home in your home state first. It will save you $1,500, $1,800, $2,000. The corporates don't care, they just charge you rack rate. But independent funeral homes work together and say, hey, I'll do this for a discount, since I don't have to really do much other than embalm and get the person up there.
Right.
And that's one of the things that's really bothered me about the corporates, is that, give me a credit card, give me a credit card, give me a credit card. Do you have another credit card? This is maxed
on this
out.
surcharge. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I just float it until we come up with a number. Sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 weeks after death. We've changed, maybe we've changed the obit, maybe we've changed the urn, maybe we've changed a lot of things, and that all affects the costs.
Sure.
And I just can't go back to families and say, I need a credit card, I need a credit card. That's just not me.
So the pre-planning, when you sit down with families, I know your resource guide helps you a lot with that too, but you're able to kind of give a price range, correct?
I give an exact price.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep, I give an exact price, and I say, this is what it's going to cost you today.
Okay.
And I will guarantee you that if you live 10 years or 15 years, you will never pay another penny more. No matter, and with inflation like this, my suppliers are going crazy. They got fuel charges and steel surcharges and all that stuff. But you can't tell a family that, you can't go back and tell your family that everything's paid for at Keith's Funeral Home, and then I show up 3 years later and say, hey, I need $900 because of inflation. So that's just not me.
Yeah. And Jim, you're on Hilton Head Island. I'm assuming that's the main area that you serve. Is that correct?
Yeah, but we get into people who pass away in Savannah, maybe at Memorial or St. Joe's, and we get we get a lot of people from Bluffton, some from Beaufort. So
great information, Jim. Great seeing you. Okay.
Great being here.
Thank you for joining us here on the Senior Network, where senior care experts come together. We'll see you the next time.